Hello, today I'm gonna be conquering a ton of the world while staying low infamy as Great Britain. There's a bunch of things we can do to get more infamy, such as getting influence for plus infamy decay. The most important things are going to be getting Charles Dickens as our ruler, because he has the cautious trait as well as the literary trait, which means that he gives us minus 20% infamy generation, plus 25% infamy decay. It's going to be very important. So we're going to grant independence to Hanover, and this is because having the Hanoverian secession journal entry gives you, I think, around a 10% chance of William of Hanover dying every single month. It might even be higher. Maybe it's every week. And that's very deadly. You want William of Hanover to stay alive, because we can't abdicate him if he's dead. Yeah, fun fact, you can't abdicate people if they're dead, you know? And we want me to abdicate Victoria, because Victoria will not have an heir, which is a requirement to abdicate. Now, we're going to start out by researching nationalism. This isn't a tech you normally research often first, I think, but in this case, it's going to be pretty important because that's the tech that unlocks ethno-state, which is, not normally a law you want to enact, but the only way to abdicate to the petite bourgeoisie is to pass ethno-state with the British supremacist movement because they like it more than national supremacy, but the petite bourgeoisie do not like it more than national supremacy. If we look in here, they strongly endorse national supremacy, and they only endorse ethno-state. There's also other ways of reducing infamy that are going to be very important to this run, but they're not going to be what we focus on at the start. If you look on screen, you can see an image of that event that we're going to be hunting later on, where if you're importing small arms from a country, you have a chance to give them -5 infamy. So if we can make a bunch of countries import small arms from us, then we can get a lot of minus infamy. So anyway, we're going to raise taxes, reduce government wages, and we're going to, day one, declare for a treaty port in the historical area and take some Qing war operations. We could take Beijing or something, but I don't think it's going to be too useful. It's probably just going to be a waste of infamy. So we're just going to move our army down there and deal with the evil Great Qing. Oh yeah, we also want to cancel our guarantees of independence, and we want to rivalry some more people. Rivalry France and Austria, because we're not going to be likely to be able to sway them for anything that useful. Then we'll begin bankrolling Portugal, Belgium, and Netherlands, because these countries are pretty often able to get into your power block, which is going to be useful. Now, pretty soon, Hanover should flip attitudes to cooperative. Sometimes they flip cautious, but cooperative is much more common. And you can just owe them an obligation and invite them to the power block, which is going to be nice. Now, I'm going to pass culture exclusion because the intelligentsia like it, and we want their society research speed to help us research nationalism a little bit faster. Just a nice little side thing to deal with, Oh yeah, I forgot. We were supposed to put our universities onto philosophy department, and we want to add into the queue after those construction sectors 20 more universities in home counties. And that's going to trigger the philosophy department, which is giving us plus 25% university throughput. Which is going to let us research nationalism a little bit faster, which is going to be essential to this run. We don't actually want to pass cultural exclusion, but it's just sort of a law we can get in, or it's just a law we're using to, what's it called? Just got a new character taking over the petite bourgeoisie, which are jingoists. Well, that's kind of nice, because actually we're going to have to exile them at some point, because they were a reformer, which means we couldn't abdicate. Actually, due to the reformer, we're going to have to exile him. That's kind of nice. What was the thing I was going to say, though? Oh yeah, what I was trying to say is that we're just using it to get the society research speed bonus. How is that so hard for me to remember? Anyway, we're just going to naval invade Beijing now. Truce in Transvaal has run out, so we're going to conquer them because their infamy is kind of low. We ideally want to stay above 5 infamy at all times, because if we're below 5, we can't trigger that event, which reduces it by 5. Even if you're at 4.9, the event just can't trigger. We're also going to begin damaging with Orania, because we have 2 good to declare on them. And now if we just wait a little bit, Dickens spawns in our country. The greatest leader ever. He's got cautious for minus 20% infamy generation, literary for plus 25% infamy decay, and persistent, which gives some extra character health, which means he's going to live a really long time. Okay, the React movement is now only one activism behind the British supremacist movement. So we're going to stop passing cultural exclusion now. And now both movements should hopefully should start going down. And we can keep doing this until both movements are until the reaction movement's at like 0 and this one's at like 1. And then we can try going back up to doing no migration controls. And hopefully, since there's still a 1 activism difference, we should be able to succeed. This is certainly one of the ways to do this. Well, we're only 5 months away from nationalism now, so I'm pretty sure if we start going for no migration controls, we should be able to be good. So we're just gonna put the industrialists into government, and then start passing no migration controls, go high taxes, and then we simply believe in the 1 activism advantage to carry us to victory, trending towards 77, trending towards 90. But as long as it stays 1 activism higher, we should just be good. Okay, we just researched nationalism, so now we're gonna go quinine next. We really want to get to multilateral alliances ASAP, but ahead of time penalties mean we should probably research some other society techs first, but we're not going to be researching anything outside of society tech. Now, British movement is going to be hitting 75% activism pretty soon here. 72, 73, 74. Now, please trigger a civil war, British supremacist movement. Yes! You get the British supremacist movement civil warring us. So now we can abdicate the throne. Grant command to you. Stop passing the law, so the revolution should go away. Now, pass and unpass ethno-state so that it doesn't actually pass a law. You should see now enables law blank, because there's no law it wants to enact. Because we made the only law it wants to enact invalid. Now, we're going to have to retire all of our commanders except for Charles Dickens, because it picks a random commander, and also a random admiral. So we need to fire all of our admirals. And then, in theory, clicking this, no, not London Calling. Clicking this should give us Charles Dickens as a ruler, but let's just quickly put the Tory, or if we put the Tory party, we're going to have a weaker Anglican church, which I think is fine, even though it's going to make it hard, or wait, we already have charity hospitals, so it's not actually going to make it easier to pass public health insurance with the Anglican church. So yeah, let's put these guys in government, and then flee across the border whilst there's still time, and we get King Charles Dickens. Let's go. Okay, well, let's reform our government to have some legitimacy again. Except that's not going to be the most legitimate necessarily. No, it still is. Okay. Well, we got an 18% clout trade unions, which is going to be great once we get pharmaceuticals in 15 months. What do we want to pass in the meantime? What do the trade unions actually want? Let's take a look at the laws. We could pass universal suffrage, proportional taxation. Let's go for that. Yeah. Now we get London Calling. We'll join the London Conference, and we will favor Dutch claims, favor Belgian claims, favor 24 points. What's getting votes right now? No one's got any votes yet, so I guess we'll wait to see some votes, but I think we're going to favor the 24 points because we want good relations with all the German culture countries. Yeah, let's just do that. It's going to be good, I think. I'm going to get a defensive pact with the Belgians. We can try to get them into the bloc better, guarantee independence. That should be enough leverage, hopefully. Take a look. They're trending towards 177, so not quite. For our first mandate, we're going to go advanced research. We really want to be able to get to multilateral alliances ASAP, and better research speed will help us out with that. Okay, now we need to hire some more generals so that we have an army again. I wonder if there's events that kill generals. Should you probably ungrant him command just in case there are, because that would be unideal if our ruler just randomly died. Except we actually can't retire him because he's mobilized. Alright, well, since we have the cautious literary, we can go invade our next country of Orania, and that'll get us dealt with Transvaal. Okay, we're already at like the innovation cap, so we're gonna stop building more universities after these 3, and we're gonna start building a real economy for a little bit at least. Well, we gotta scale up a little bit before we can go into building infinite unis for tech spread and stuff, you know. Get the springtime of the peoples. We'll click support the conservative establishment. Okay, well, we've taken over Orania. Has no gold quite yet, but we'll start incorporating this because it's a 5-year incorporation. We'll take over Transvaal next. We're gonna get a pretty powerful react. Oh, the reaction movement is so mad. Oh. Oh, we got a ton of radicals from abdicating. Uh-oh. Reaction movement is big mad. We're gonna suppress it. Probably gonna have to fight a civil war anyway, but yeah. Doesn't look like there's any way we can deal with the civil war, so we're just gonna have to fight it. I hope it's going to be pretty small. It should be, because there's only 7% support. Hopefully it's not that big. We're going to find out in just a second how big it is. Please. Unconference concludes. Oh, that's so big. Oh, no. Okay, let's lower taxes. We need to find some way out of this. This is so bad. Oh, no. It's such a big reactionary movement. Please, no. I actually forgot to start colonies at the start of the game, but we'll start a colony in Kenya and build a port for that so we can get our colonial growth going nicely. Okay, well, I've managed to get the movement to trend towards only 90 activism, which is still terribly high, but it's not as bad. Oh, there's a civil war in France. You're kidding me that that's a major power. That's unfortunate. Did some reloading and testing. We can't subjugate France, unfortunately. You know, it would have been really funny if we could, but it's not quite possible. Could get a trade agreement or something, but I don't think it's that worth fighting France over. So we're just gonna let France deal with the civil war. I got to -14 from them accepting protectorate, but can't get that last -14, unfortunately. I'm gonna retire Charles Dickens from command, because I think there might be some event that kills him if we have him as a commander. I'm not sure. There probably isn't, but it's good to be safe. Now I'm thinking maybe we re-invite John Frost. He got exiled via some event, but we're gonna re-invite him because we want the other movements to steal support if possible, so that the reactionary movement can hopefully go under 5%, because then it won't be able to start a civil war. Then if we get it under 75 ever, we can just keep it there. Okay, we gain another mandate. Advanced research 2. Well, I need to figure out what to spend my infamy on. I want to do a big war with Russia, but we're too scared of fighting a reaction movement right now to do that. So we're just gonna declare an Oldenburg, because them along with Hanover will be enough to form Confederation of the Rhine, I believe. Or even if it isn't, we will want some more states here to be able to form a bigger Confederation of the Rhine, I guess. That'll be something to do while we try to deal with this reactionary movement. It's so big, I'm kind of scared to fight it, but also kind of think we might need to fight it, because otherwise you're just at this permanent limbo. Russia sided against us, that's unfortunate, but I think we'll be fine. Yeah, Prussia doesn't have a border with them, so if we just land them, Prussia shouldn't really be able to do anything about it. You can just take over their territory, and there's not much Prussia should do about it unless they station troops in the country. Okay, we get prop tax, that's nice. What do we want to pass next? We would like public health insurance. Yeah, let's go for that. And then grab this 29 stack. Oh, the war hasn't started yet. Yeah, we'll be turning naval invade into Oldenburg. I kind of forgot to start a naval invasion, so one of our subjects started it, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, we got to quinine. Okay, now we need to decide what to go next. You go steel frame buildings into pan-nationalism into multilateral alliances. That seems kind of fine. The reaction movement is over. Let's go. I guess it's prop tax making the turmoil less of a problem, probably. Once we get the stupid springtime of the peoples to go away soon, we should be actually good. Okay, it's time for our first big war. Oh, Austria is going to join against us as well. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're going to take Arkhangelsk. We're going to take Novgorod. We're going to take Pskov. And this is going to split the Russian market in two, is the plan. We also liberate Baltic Governorates and Grand Duchy of Finland. Then we can also add humiliation or war reps. We'll go for war reps, because I don't think Russia's going to be able to drop to a minor power after this war, so humiliation isn't going to be too valuable. But war reps will hopefully make them closer to bankruptcy, which is something we very much do want. Now, what we're going to start doing in this army is we got 30 skirmish, so we can build up another 11 shrapnel conscripts, I guess. Is that actually all we can get? There must be a lot of... There's a lot of dragoons here. Let's conscript up another 10 skirmish, and then 10 lancers, something like this. And that should be a pretty strong army, which we can then try to use naval invade into the capital of Russia, which should go pretty well for us, hopefully. Is Russia just not calling in Austria? What? Okay. I guess they're confident, so they just decide to not call them in. Nice for us. For now, we're losing quite a bit of money because we're trying to keep low taxes so that the reaction movement doesn't come back, but hopefully this movement will go under 5% support soon so that we can stop having to keep it below 75% activism, because movements below 75% support, or below 5% support, can't start civil wars. Bro, we get this event and we have to exile Frosty? How dare we? How dare the game do this to us? All I wanted was... all I wanted is him to boost my radical movement, but no. How could you do this to me? Ottomans, I cannot do that right now. I'm kind of busy. Okay, we're gonna naval invade the capital of Russia. should hopefully go pretty well for us. Oh, we need a little bit more organization, and we should just be able to land. Because I think Russia doesn't have skirmish yet, right? It's only 5 years into the game, so they shouldn't have it yet. Russian fleet defeat. Okay, we just defeated the Russian fleet. Now we're landing, and looks like we're being very successful for the first landing battle, at least. We get solid 5,000 casualties on their side in exchange for only 2,000 of ours. But the only problem is now that we have lower morale, or lower manpower, whereas they have a huge amount of manpower and they're 350 stack. This might end up being a bit of a problem, but we can hope that it won't be. Oh, what? We're already losing the battle? Well, that's unfortunate. Cancel and try to regain manpower and try again. Or we can just wait for them to bankrupt. I don't know. Oh, we're tech spreading modern sewage, so we'll temporarily go into pan-nationalism. Okay, Russia has 400 battalions. We're just going to let them bankrupt or go into default. Because, yeah, there's no way they can afford that much. They're in debt. You know, we'll just let them go into more debt. That seems perfectly fine with me. We'll just demobilize our big stack and use smaller stacks for our next few wars while we wait for Russia to default, and then we can land them. This is landing ended? Oh, there's a new landing. We need to actually watch this so that we can make sure to take it over once it's ready. You get healthcare, that's nice. Request a power block embassy from Belgium. Oh, we got our third advanced research thing, but we didn't click it instantly. Oops, but it's not too big of a deal. Now that does mean we can get a little bit more universities. That would be useful. Yeah, let's build them. It's gonna make our budget even worse, but we just want to get to multilateral alliances ASAP. Let's do steel frame real quick, because it's gonna be worth doing that, I think. Okay, we have a new election. We can swap to this government. It's very legitimate. Alright. Anything you want to try to pass? Nothing there. I can't think of anything we want to pass. Okay, we've got another mandate again. We're gonna go food standardization this time, I think. Or we could go external trade for the influential trade centers, actually. That's actually a little bit of an interesting pick. Maybe we go for that. How many trade centers do we have right now? I think long term we want that tech, or that mandate, but the question is it really gonna be that much influence right now? That is worth giving up the food standardization bonuses. We got 97 trade centers, so that'd be like 190 influence. That's probably worth it. Let's just go for it, I guess. Okay, we can now protectorate Oldenburg. Let's also subjugate Hanover. Oh, Bavaria doesn't want this peace deal. Okay, well, Oldenburg is going to want this peace deal in a second. So, yeah, now they offer us a peace. Okay, now we get Confederation of the Rhine. Organize the Confederation. And now Hanover is Confederation of the Rhine. The second Rhine, whatever, and Confederation of the Rhine will annex Oldenburg. All right. Okay, we're gonna go up a tax level, at least one. We need the money. And we'll also get opium consumption tax, because we really badly need more money. Okay, we get 10% loyalists in Great Britain, or 25 legitimacy. It's already so legitimate, we're gonna be taking the loyalists, and that's gonna be really good. You know, we only have 1.8 million radicals, which is gonna make things simple. Also, the reactionary is under 5% support now, which means we can raise taxes and not be at fear of a reactionary movement. Let's go. I think the trade unions just like forgot to have a party in the last election, so they just got marginalized, which is unfortunate. We've got to decide what we want to pass next. Restricting child labor honestly isn't that bad of an idea, so we can get to multilateral alliances a little bit faster. Could also try to go laissez-faire, right? No, what the industrialists don't even want it. Labor movement would also be pretty big mad at that. Okay, I'm gonna go restricted child labor. I want to try to get that tech. You know, we got to get to multilateral alliances super fast. Minus 25% infamy generation is huge, especially when you already have minus 20% and they stack additively with each other. Okay, our investment pool change plus balance is actually really large, so we can afford to build a lot more construction. Though we're going to be getting steel frame pretty soon, so we don't necessarily want to build that much, because upgrading steel frame will cost us some stuff. But let's build a little bit. Oh, our ability to invite Belgium has just been decreased massively because they got powerful protectors of Austria or something. I don't know exactly what changed, but we'll take some investment rights in Belgium, I guess, to try to increase our leverage and get it back up to high enough. Maybe start funding lobbies as well. Just want everything we can to get our leverage maximal. I almost clicked this option to make Charles Dickens a grifter, which would be really bad. They'd give us 1% tax waste and minus 25% minus 25 popularity. So let's not do that. Could have had an interest in Dixie till I could join the Confederate States of America or whatever, but looks like they're gonna get their independence. It would have been nice to get a bankroll from America here if we join them, but it is what it is. Let's build some opium in India, or should we? Yeah, let's do it. And put on a consumption tax on services because I want a little bit more money. We somehow got -30 relations with the Belgians. What happened? Why is their leverage reset? Huh? I don't know. We're getting pretty close to running out of infamy, so we're going to go for a conquest of Pennsylvania along with Maryland, which will cut the USA into with the East and the West, and that's going to be great news for us because America will not be a real country after they lose their West Coast. How will they ever survive? It's also primary ban slavery, even though they're already banning slavery. It'll just make it less likely for them to back down, I assume. And then we will put some troops on the front, and maybe some more, and that should be able to deal with the Americans. Now we're also going to slot in Baclau, Vaughn and Company, and then we're going to have our iron mines going here, which is great. We'll privatize or nationalize the financial district ownership, and then privatize that back to the Baclau, Vaughn and Co. So we'll also start building tall in these 3 states because they're really nice states. Let's put a bunch of decrees down in them, and then we'll start building loads of iron mines. Also, I think we forgot to subsidize railroads. Yeah, you can see we have minus infra, but you know, if we just subsidize the railroads, that should go away. Ooh, free 10 infamy potentially. Please accept. Yes, let's go. Wait, that didn't even absolve the obligation. What? Pass restricted child labor. Let's start going up to level 4 on the education institution. America's nearly fully occupied. Let's see if they were willing to negotiate. All right, they are. Nice. Now America is a major power still, unfortunately, but they're maybe going to drop out of it because, you know, cut their country in 2 here. The entire West is going to have no market access, which I think also means that their colonization should stop. Yeah, all these colonizations are now finished. And all the buildings on this side are going to have huge shortages. You know, if you look at the construction sectors, they're going towards a 50% shortage. I'm sure there's got to be some government administrations that are going towards it as well. Or, no, it looks like the only government administrations on this side are in Ohio, which apparently has lots of paper production. Or now the paper is getting really expensive because I assume paper is unemploying due to being unprofitable. Yeah, and a sulfur shortage. We'll start incorporating this great state of Pennsylvania. It's an amazing state, you know, we love it. America's starting to go into debt, which is great. Maybe they'll declare bankruptcy and then they should be an easy protectorate. We can even start improving relations with them and then maybe they've got a big anti-British league, so I don't know how easy it's going to be to put them in the block. Yeah, they have a national militia as well, so you actually probably won't want to get them in the block diplomatically. Actually, let's improve anyway so that we can have better liberties there after we subjugate them. Oh, we can get a power block embassy with Belgium again. I feel like we already had one a while ago, but... Oh, okay, we can invite Belgium to the block finally. Nice. Now, I'd kind of like to cancel my foreign investment rights in them. So okay, they're actually pretty far from major power. We should be fine. They're getting some stuff with the Dutch, so we can them into the block, because we actually only have 10 months left on our obligation. We might just have to use it to get a power block embassy. Let's just do that. I guess since you're already in the block, we don't need to do this stuff, right? Wait, you're not? Oh, wait, I thought you were. Portugal, we gotta get you in the block sooner. Portugal is... Okay, yeah, we can get Portugal in the block. Nice. Okay, well now we can stop doing some of this stuff to Portugal and Belgium. India offers us an obligation to join them against an independence war, which is declared right as the Sepoy Mutiny happens, which is pretty unlucky, but yeah, because Qing is also involved in this. Now, I think... Okay, we don't actually have civilizing missions, so I don't really want to take Chinese states, but let's just add, I guess, Chinese war reparations as a war goal here. Then maybe in 5 years we'll go for some Chinese states and try to de-rank them out of major power. Now we'll start sending over our armies to India, and they're going to take forever to arrive, but luckily it's a pretty small Sepoy mutiny, so we should be pretty good. Okay, we've gotten steel frame buildings unlocked now. Let's start swapping that up a little bit. Also, we're 8 years away from multilateral alliances already. That's kind of crazy. Wait, what? Qing has a widespread opium addiction for another 8 years. This must mean that since we must have won the opium wars before China lost them, so it like bugs out. It's interesting that they just have widespread opium addiction for another 8 years. That's actually really bad for them. Okay, well, my 68 stack was about to go over there, but I just realized the Kazakh Khanate uprising has happened. I'm thinking this might be a perfect opportunity to land in Russian capital, so we're gonna send them back and try to land in Russia. We'll see how it goes. Need the Khanate to survive for like a couple of months, and then we should be good. Because we're currently a month away from from England, but then like maybe another month away. I'm actually making it there. I'm not really sure. Okay, naval invade Ingria, begin. Let's see. Okay, the Kazakh Khanate is gonna get dealt with really quickly, but they only have 4 troops defending here. We have 37 offense. Maybe we win this. Come on, come on. We're gonna get a lot of good battles in before they can make it back, I think. Can we get 4? No, we get 2. Maybe 3? 3. Oh, we're in. Oh, okay. Good. Can we enforce all of our demands? Not quite. So we have to choose one to not enforce. Liberate Grand Duchy of Finland, I think we can not enforce and be fine. Yeah, we'll still cut them off. Let's do this. Right. Great. Now Russia's in 22 million debt. We get colony India. Nice. Now we can annex them for 52 infamy. That's pretty good. And if we look at Russian market access, they have 31% market access in the rest of their country now, which means things like construction sectors, even though there's no real shortage of iron, this is like basically normal. They're running a 5% shortage. Actually, not quite as bad as I would have thought, but it's now targeting 19% shortage. Yeah, that's not good, although their buy orders are going up. I forgot to put arms on export prioritization. You want arms on export so that hopefully more countries will import them from us. I don't know if it's actually going to lead to significantly more countries importing, but we hope. We can invite the Netherlands into our power block. Nice. Although they are a major power, so we won't be able to subjugate them very easily, but we will eventually, hopefully, once we get up enough prestige. We'll stop bankrolling them and stop guaranteeing their independence. Hopefully they'll eventually drop out of major power status. We'll see. I'm sort of waiting for East India Company to bankrupt before we declare to annex them, but the thing is we're getting low on infamy, so I'm trying to figure out a war goal. I think I'll just go for take treaty port on Lucca as our next war. It's going to be a pretty short war, but we just need something to hold us over in terms of infamy. It's still like not very much infamy though. We'd definitely prefer something a little bit more, but I don't think this is going to be something like that very easily attainable. Like, we have some wars we can declare, but they're not really great. Soon we'll be able to Protectorate America, but we still have to wait till 1850 for that. Right, we take Lucca Treaty Port, except Lucca Treaty Port is actually their whole country because they're only a one province country. Nice little one treaty port giving us a treaty port for 2 different markets. Seems that unfortunately the Russians have mostly solved their market access problems and are now running a mostly normal economy, being at like 21 million debt. So hopefully in our next war we can try to conquer Kovno, which is what they're using to go to not to pay that much for convoys, I think, once we take this. Hopefully their convoy costs will go through the roof because they'll have to ship all the way around the Mediterranean, which I think will make it like 1.7 times more expensive or something. Also, liberating Finland will make it a little bit worse. Nicaragua wants to join the power block. Alright. Has India bankrupted yet? No. Well, we need something to declare next. I think we're going to go for some stuff on France. I don't know how necessary this is, but liberating Occitania is just like such a annoying thing. Because if we do it and then we could have gotten a French subject anyway at some point, that would be really annoying. But I think we gotta liberate Occitania. Otherwise, I don't think it's gonna be very easy to subjugate France. And then we'll take French war reparations as well. And this should just be pretty alright war. It's probably gonna take a little bit to enforce this war because France is a pretty big military, but hopefully at some point we'll be able to enforce it. Oh, I just realized this has India on our side, so we're gonna need to win this war if we want to annex India, so better do a good job at winning this war. Gotta try our hardest. Oh, let's play Prussia in for liberate Sardinia Piedmont. That's gonna make this war so free. Um, yeah, the war's just gonna be so free with that, actually. No way we lose anymore. Assuming Prussia actually contributes like anything to the war. Yeah, France put humiliate against Prussia, so we should just be completely fine. Just naval invade France HQ as soon as the war starts. Here we go. Land Normandy. Oh, France just sends a bunch of troops back, but now we just better push over here. Completely fine. They've got 16 troops on this front. Like, what are you doing? You're just gonna lose on the Alsace front now. Don't stand a chance at all. Yeah, we get some battles, and they're just free wins. But France has actually got some troops here again, and now they It's not nearly as much of a free win. France does have, a very strong military, so it's gonna be kind of tough to defeat them, but surely with our amazing strength, we will be fine. We will destroy the evil French menace. 175 French troops just sitting in France HQ is crazy. France has got 8.6 thousand power projection. Quite a lot. British Raj making pushes. Nice. We're making some failure pushes, which is not great. Maybe let's just go defense on like all but one or something. You're an offensive planner and reserve. I think reserved is good, right? Just minus morale loss. Yeah, okay, we'll use you, I guess. Oh, our naval invasion just got defeated, so I'm gonna go back to landing the France HQ. Where are they going? Are they going to Pondicherry? Alright, well that's interesting. We're gonna start our fake landing on France HQ again. Hopefully they take some troops off the Alsace front. I'm surprised by how much France is actually able to hold us off. We're gonna need to conscript up more. Let's just max conscript. Conscription to the max! So, like, we don't actually have that much we can conscript, but still gonna max conscript. Oh, we made it into Alsace. Nice. I'm gonna land Piedmonte and Provence right now, so we can have another front for the French to hopefully put a ton of troops on. We do have nothing in the France HQ. Maybe we can try to land that with our stacks again. Alright, let's go for it. Land Normandy. If they've got nothing in it, we might as well go for it. Let's see. Can we be successful? Are they actually just not going to defend? Oh, they defend barely in time, but they didn't get enough of the troops in time in that battle. So we're going to be victorious and land in Normandy, which is going to be great. And put this stack in as well. And kind of just defend here. I think we're on good track. France is also in 11 million debt, so that's going to be good for their ability to bankrupt after this war. Honduras wishes to join the British Empire as well. Very nice. Okay, we take over Paris. Nice. Now can we enforce all of our demands? Not quite, but very soon we should be able to. And then French will be defeated, which is going to be nice for us. Okay, proposed peace deal. And we get Normandy. And we get Occitania liberated. It's going to be kind of nice. We'll form a defensive pact and guarantee their independence. We can hopefully get them into the bloc. So we'll subjugate Belgium. How in the world are they only getting plus 26 from expected military power difference when we are having like a 4 times stronger army than them because they're bankrupt? Like, what? Anyways, I think we're going to be annexing them. Alright, let's go for the annexation. Yeah, oh, they just accept. Okay, well, that's nice. Now, a bunch of these guys in India have local consumption of small arms, but no local production. We're going to look for those guys in particular. Not like Hyderabad has local production, so they're not going to work. But all the other ones that have fairly high, what we're going to do is grant them their own market, which is going to give them a huge amount of liberty desire, which is unfortunate, but it has to be done because it's going to massively reduce our infamy. Because all these guys are going to be able to import small arms from us, hopefully. Yeah, you don't have any. I was going to do this to all these guys, making sure they have no local production and then granting them their own market. The reason we need them to have no local production is that the event can only proc for countries that do not have a single arms industry in the country. So having local production implies that you have an arms industry, and thus that is unacceptable for us. But yeah, we're going to grant all these guys their own markets. It's going to be great. Okay, so now the hope is that all these guys will now start importing small arms from us. We've got 23, 24, 27. The higher this number goes, the more countries are importing small arms from us, is what that means. So hopefully over time, get more and more countries importing small arms from us. We can even start subsidizing arms industries just to try to ensure that our arms industry price is low enough for these countries to be willing to import from us, because it looks like there's still a bunch that are not yet. Now we get a bunch of increased autonomy requests, which is unfortunate. It's also probably going to kill our cohesion a little bit, but yeah, not much we can do about that. We're getting spammed by so many increased autonomy requests, it's ridiculous. But yeah, not much we can do about that. Can we ask for become protectorate here? No, doesn't look like it. Looks like America's probably going to get destroyed here, because I don't think they actually have the ability to go over here, because we isolated their market. But maybe they will be able to. I don't know. Mexico actually has a way stronger military, so I think Mexico's going to win. We'll see, though. I'm going to start trying to incorporate some parts of India. It's very expensive with bureaucracy, though, so like we can barely barely start incorporating parts of Bengal right now. We need lots and lots of bureaucracy to start doing significant parts of India. If Persia occupies Herat, of course, we would prefer to get the higher relations and positive catalyst, because we want to eventually sway Persia for protectorate, potentially. After multilateral, we'll go human rights, because I'm sure we've got enough rights movements to go multiculturalism, surely. Only 13% success. That's got to be rising quickly as our movements get more support. Yeah, there's still a lot of support to go up on these movements. So the game claims the Confederates aren't in a war, yet they have 2,500 army power projection and more soldiers than their baseline. I'm so confused how they have raised conscripts while not being at war. That doesn't make sense. We're up to 40 country or 39 countries importing small arms from us. Pretty good. We'd prefer to have even more, but this is a decent start. You know, we're going to be dropping infamy pretty fast because of this. Okay, we're about to get multilateral alliances in January 1854. That's pretty crazy. Now we go human rights into civilizing mission. And then I guess after civilizing mission, we go malaria prevention. USA v Confederates war here. I think we want the USA to win, so we'll join them. I don't think we want anything from them, so we'll just join unconditionally. And we'll send over some troops to help the USA destroy the Confederate states. We just don't want the USA to lose Ohio. Unfortunately, they have gone up to major power status somehow. That's kind of unfortunate, but hope we can end this war quick enough that they don't reset their timer to dropping back down, then we can protectorate them. I want to go for a protectorate on America. You know, got our minus 45% infamy gen. We got to use it. That'll be a nice thing to use it on. We'll take some American war reparations. Yeah, that's all we'll take, I guess. And then we will, you know, declare some more interests. I think it said France is likely to join. Yeah, France is very likely to join. They're actually allied to America. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. They might end up taking... They're hopefully going to get called in with call ally, so we can just ignore France. But if they get called in with return Normandy, then we might have to worry about them a little bit, which would be unfortunate. We'll see what they get called in with. Or they can just not be called in, I guess. Seemingly they haven't been. Oh, uh-oh. Let's just fake pass cultural exclusion while we wait for multiculturalism to be able to be passed soonish. You know, we're only 10 months away from it, so it should be fine to just fake pass cultural exclusion to make these movements happy for now. Okay, the USA just backs down. Very convenient for us. Begin improving relations. Yeah, good. Could grant them states if we wanted, but I don't think we're gonna. We're just gonna leave it like this. Some native uprisings. Yeah, having America is pretty nice. It's a bit unfortunate the Confederates aren't included, but you know, we can deal with them later. They have so much authority from authority per subject, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna just spam some promote social mobilities in India. Sure, that seems like a nice thing to do, right? What else could we do that would be somewhat valuable? Because we've got so much authority. I guess we can put on 1,000,000 consumption taxes, you know. Furniture, fish, sure, those seem decent. Oh yeah, we got human rights. So we're gonna grant leadership to Charles Dickens because that will remove the petite bourgeoisie disliking multiculturalism. Now they're gonna find it equal to their current law that we're on. We can just cancel passing that and start going multiculturalism, and we got pretty good success chance on this. 26 success versus 28 stall. Suppressing the British supremacist movement would probably be a good play. They're gonna be pretty radical and they're gonna give us quite a bit of stall chance. We could replace external trade real quick with creative legislature. Yeah, let's go for creative legislature 1, and then we'll swap it back after we pass this. And we pass multiculturalism. Big nice. No more plus wages for accepted pops. No more minus wages for unaccepted pops. And finally, places like West Bengal are actually going to have employment in the government administrations, which is great news. It's funny that we're getting mass migrations from India because we grant them their own market. I wonder if there's ever a point where you actually want to do that to get more migration. I think that inter-market migration is just better for the most part, but maybe there's a situation where it might be better to do that. I don't know. Let's take a look at migration map mode. Another mass migration. How many migrants are getting 7.5, 9% migration a year into Midlands? Big nice. Maybe we can make Midlands have a huge population as well this game. It was at this moment he realized he wasn't using condension engine pump. I don't know how recently we unlocked this tech. To be fair, we might have unlocked this pretty recently, because we weren't We didn't ever research anything in production, so it's just a matter of when it spread to us. I don't know when it did. I guess let's swap back from creative legislature onto external trade again. That'll be kind of nice. Get some more influence again, which you can use to start improving with more of these guys over in India, because the worse relations are giving us a little bit of a problem with cohesion, although it is slowly getting fixed. We're up to 50 cohesion again now. Okay, so we're going to declare on Russia to conquer Kovno. We're also going to take some Russian war reparations. We're also going to liberate the Grand Duchy of Finland. And I think that's all we want to do. So you kind of want to leave Russia with a lot of stuff to protectorate them eventually. Although, I mean, maybe we're supposed to liberate Ukraine. There's a lot of ports here that are a little bit of a problem for us. I don't know. I think we're going to try to not liberate Finland and try to still keep them low power rank. Like, we're going to probably stay in this war for a while, just raiding convoys. Because I'm pretty sure even if they take over this stuff, I think it won't let them ship their like economy through that. I'm pretty sure they're still gonna have to go through this trade node, so we'll just convoy raid them. Austria sides in. Oh, Austria and Prussia both side into the play. It's not great, but I'm pretty sure we can still defend because these guys just don't have great navies compared to our great, amazing navy. Let's just disband some navies. We've got way too many. Maybe 3 max is what we need, really. Something like this is kind of fine. Can upgrade all of the Man of Wars into ironclads, sure. I think this is going to be some fine war goals. I don't want to try to land Prussia and stuff for war reps. Okay, they've got 1,000,000 war goals, so there's no way they can enforce on us, even if they occupy this, which we are just going to be letting them occupy that. And we're going to be seeing how much their market access dies as we convoy raid them to death. We're down to 47% market access so far. The convoy rating is very strong when your entire economy is getting convoy raided instead of just like a small part of it. Yeah, they're down to 0% market access now. You can see Russian GDP spikes up with market isolation. After we get malaria prevention, we can start working on production techs again, because that's the last tech that's relevant to conquest maxing, because that tech unlocks the level 5 on colonial affairs, which gives us an extra minus 5% against unrecognized. I'm just going to try to make sure Russia's in enough debt that they're not going to be able to get out of it, even if market access restores fairly quickly after the end of the war. Minus 10 infamy, so we need to declare a new war. We're going to decide what to spend this 10 infamy on. I think we're going to do Protectorate Peru Bolivia. Actually, that's only 9 infamy. Wow. Yeah, I was kind of thinking we were going to try to Diplo subjugate these guys, but we got so much spare infamy, and Diplo subjugating takes like a lot of time, so I don't know how practical it's going to be. So we're just going to kind of, go for a protectorate on Peru Bolivia. Seems like a pretty fine thing to go for. But did we actually... Oh, Portugal rejected suggestion. Unfortunate. Russia's losing roughly 200,000 a week in debt, seemingly, so that's pretty good. Peru Bolivia backs down. Pretty nice. No, the evil reactionary movement is back. Uh-oh. Let's start passing Nat supremacy to make the movement happy, I guess. Yeah, we need to find... Or we need to get some authority back so that we can then start suppressing the movement, so it hopefully gets under 5% support. Okay, reaction movement's under 5% support, so we can stop passing Nat supremacy now. We only have one more 5% modifier to go in infamy reductions against Unrex, so I think I'm just going to start declaring on some unrecognized powers. Maybe we declare on China here, actually. China seems like a pretty good thing to declare on right now. Alright, so we're going to declare conquer Beijing. Chinese war reparations going to be pretty big. Maybe we start trying to surround Southern Anhui, because that's going to eventually become their market capital. I don't know when it's going to happen, because right now it's Western Guangdong, but usually it seems to move. We could just conquer Western Guangdong. We could actually also surround Western Guangdong and then have them have to do convoys, but I think we're just going to try to surround their market capital in Southern Anhui, or we might just try to bankrupt them, actually. I don't know how practical it is to reduce their power rank without taking a ton of states. Yeah, I'm not really sure. We'll try to conquer a bunch of states like Suzhou in this war, maybe? Let's go for Suzhou and stuff. Trying to surround, or create the startings of a surrounding of Southern Hui. Okay, I declared for something like this. Maybe this is a little bit too much and they'll just back down. But I'm not actually that sad if they back down to this play, I think. And I'm just fine with that. Where's this army actually right now? Let's move it over to the treaty port, I guess. Alright. And then move something else over here. grab a navy, and we'll naval invade Beijing in the war, because Beijing is still their capital for now. Russia's in 20 million debt so far, that's pretty good. Okay, we got the new, joining the Scramble for Africa means we can get level 5 on the Colonial Affairs Institution. We just need some more bureaucracy, so let's start building some. We need lots to start incorporating India over time as well. This is all we're incorporating right now. We can get a lot more of it, that would be nice. The reaction movement is back. I don't know how. It went up to 5% for like a second for some reason, bruh. Well, can pretty soon pass Nat Supremacy in 3 months to reset it. Okay, Nat Supremacy should delete the reaction movement again, please. I hate this reaction movement so much. It's evil. It's out to get me. The Hindustani national movement, which should go away again as well. Yep, okay, we're good. Russia is in default. Okay, well, that means once we're done with this China war, we will go clean up Russia, because, yeah, them being in default means we should be able to delete their economy forever. Building lots of government administrations so we can incorporate some more states. Carnatic, Malabar, Bombay, Agra. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Got quite a lot of India incorporating now. Oh yeah, I was supposed to start expanding our great colonial empire. You know, Charles Dickens is a great expert colonial administrator, so we can colonize super fast. China is putting up a really good fight. It's actually kind of worrying how good of a fight China is putting up against us. It's a bit of a problem. Especially the stupid Western Guangdong thing keeps happening, that's being very annoying. But hopefully we'll be fine until China pretty soon, hopefully. Oh, but now they win in Western Guangdong. This is really annoying. We can't win on both fronts at once. It's insane that China still isn't in debt. Like, we've been fighting for a long time and they somehow are still out of debt. Russia's economy just slowly collapsing because of being in default. China's actually enforcing on us because their Wargle is British East. Wargle is this tree port. Oh, no, 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 wrong navy. Yep. Please let me land this. You've got 13 guys defending it. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, there's... Okay, yeah, we got this. Come on. We just need to occupy this so we don't get enforced upon, please. No. You're not defending that? You're kidding me. Okay, it's deoccupied. Good, good, good. Now let's try to land. Keep choosing the wrong navy. We really want to keep our convoy rating going so we can make sure the Russians don't get out of default somehow. Russian SOL is 4. Oh, we made it into Beijing successfully, finally. Alright, well, once the timer runs out, we should be able to send China a peace deal and take over all of these Chinese states, which will be pretty nice, except they don't actually want the peace deal yet. Kinda low on infamy. Let's conquer Ethiopia, I guess. No, Egypt's gonna get involved. Whatever. Unfortunate. Okay, peace with China achieved. Great Britain grows larger, and China grows smaller. Taking over Beijing is gonna be nice for the extra 20 legitimacy that brings. You can also build a port here. Yeah, we want to split off like 100 guys or something to do a naval invasion onto the Russian capital, because that is going to be pretty essential, so we can actually end the war with Russia finally. And normally this naval invasion is a little bit tough, but Russia has 50% default penalties, so all their troops are spaghetti, aka they have no defense. They only have 17.5, so it's going to be the freest naval invasion in the history of naval invasions here. And the first battle should begin any second now. Wait, they actually are winning? Okay, well, that's, weird. How is that even possible? I don't know, we're gonna start again, and we'll just have faith that this time everything will be different, and we'll magically get a success this time, right? No. How are the Russians having so much defense? Unacceptable. They're cheating. Yeah, we're gonna have to delete some skirmish conscripts and try and replace them with shrapnel, I guess. Or maybe that's a little bit too many conscripts deleted, but it should be fine. Just need to find like 40 shrapnel conscripts here, something like that. Raise conscripts, and then hopefully eventually get the shrapnel in, and then we can land. We have a decent amount of shrapnel already, so let's go for the landing. Yeah, okay, now we got this. Okay, we'll go for conquest of Burma as well, I guess. You know, it's certainly one of the countries in the world that we can dare to annex. One more state. Yep, there we go. Oh, okay, Russia's starting to cap now, so... Yeah, oh, Austria doesn't want peace, though. Dang, the evil Austrians not accepting peace? How dare they? That's actually annoying. Regime change in Western Australia? Sure, okay. And now Russia should declare bankruptcy. Yep. I wonder how long they're gonna lack market access for now. That's the big question now. If they get it back quickly, then it's not gonna be that bad for them. But if they don't, then they're probably gonna end up spiraling into infinite debt forever. We'll see. They're already getting back debt. Like 100K a week is pretty big. Assume they're building tons and tons of ports. Port cap there, port cap there. They're building a couple of ports, that's for sure. Russia getting themselves into their war isn't a good idea, because I'm pretty sure while you're in a war, you decay your convoy rating 4 times slower, so that's not going to be very good for them. So France is declaring to transfer Van Diemen's land from us, which is strange. Very strange. I have no clue what France is doing. They're already worried. Netherlands and Occitania want to join my side. What could they possibly be thinking? Declaring this war. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we'll just split France in half by conquering Orleans Berry. And we could go for some more states, like Picardy or something. I don't know, let's humiliate and grab French war reparations. Let's primary those. Now we could go for Picardy and French Low Counties to try to isolate them. Or we could try to completely surround Ile-de-France if you want to try to get them low market access, but that's going to be a little bit too much infamy, I think. Let's just go for Picardy in this war, I guess, and then we'll try to do the rest in a future war for Burgundy and Champagne. Did forget to call in Occitania. War goals, liberate country. Liberate Algeria would be kind of fine. Yeah, it's going to give them a little bit of minus prestige if they lose Algeria, so we'll just do that. Get sway in the Netherlands. What do you want? Sure, we'll call ally Netherlands. And this is going to be a pretty free play, I believe. Big old Circassia with honor and life. They clicked the bad option. Only +1 SOL. They could have gotten +5% throughput. SMH. I'm pretty confused on how Russia hasn't dropped to major power yet. They've been below 234 for more than a year. As you can tell by humiliated by rivals down to -15%, which should mean that the war has been over for 2 years. I'm really confused on how they are not yet a minor power. They're still a great power somehow. But they're gaining debt again. They weren't for a while. That's interesting. Guess that means they're constructing again. Yeah, they are. Gonna build up those ports. The reaction movement got up to 5% for a second, I guess, because the reaction movement is ticking again. So let's just quickly send that packing again. Please, go away. Thank you. Alright, France, it's peacetime now. Very nice French peace deal. Where we, take these states around France, trying to isolate them a little bit more, although they're still going to have market access here for now, because they have plenty of convoys, I'm sure. So I figured out what's going on with Russia. They're ping-ponging between dropping to insignificant power and dropping to minor power, I believe, is what's going on. You can see they just redeclared bankruptcy again. Popping opium up to automatic irrigation has seemingly started our first GDP bump in forever. Also, we're subsidizing a huge rice farm in Bihar, looks like it doesn't need a subsidy really anymore. Are we actually not paying for that subsidy anymore? Seemingly. Or no, we're paying a huge amount for the subsidy. Wait, no, we're not. I actually can't tell, because it says we're paying for rice farm subsidies in here. But it doesn't show up on the building. Oh no, here it is. Okay, we are... Yeah, we need more railways to fix the rice farm so that it will actually be profitable. Unfortunately, we have a motor shortage. Or the motor shortage is actually gone now. Nice. How's the fertilizer plants going as well? I'm gonna get some employees, hopefully. Up to machine steel tools. We need some rubber plantations for this, but we've got lots of rubber in Africa, so we'll start harvesting it, and we'll swap up our rubber plantations to automatic irrigation. Rice Farm is running a 134K positive balance, and it claims it doesn't have the ability to pay. Yeah, I don't buy it. What do you mean the average annual wage here is now 0.4? Are you joking? What? That's ridiculous, bro. Seems like we're not going to swipe Persia for Protectorate, so we'll just go in and Protectorate Persia manually. Persia shall become our protectorate. Oh yeah, Russia's dropped to minor power status. That's pretty nice. Question is, will they keep it for long enough for us to be able to protectorate them? How long is our truce at this point? Our truce is only 8 months. Oh, we're so getting a Russian protectorate. Actually, like, it's gonna be close, but I believe. Bankruptcy has 7 years left. They're in 9 million debt, so they're kind of getting close to new bankruptcy, but not really. The reason I say they're getting kind of close is because they have bankrupted, so their buildings have very low cash reserves. Otherwise, this would normally not be very close to bankruptcy, but because of that, they're much closer than you'd think. But we're already low infamy again after declaring that Persia war. Well, I guess we'll go for an annexation of the Khalsa. Something to go for, I guess. The only problem is I think we're actually so many peasants in our country. I think it might actually be being a little bit of a problem because our balance is like pretty bad. Okay, it's time to attack Russia for protectorate. Russia's going to join, unfortunately, but not much we can do about that. We're going to hope that Russia will just back down. We'll add 1 million revoked claims on them. We'll see if war ups will be optimal to put on, because revoked claims are more maneuvers. So let's just do this. Okay, 1 more revoked claim, and that's going to be a lot of maneuvers. So hopefully, or we want to deal with Persia first. Let's keep these guys here for now. Move over some other guys to deal with Russia. We need to enforce on Russia pretty quickly if possible, so that they don't become a major power again, because that would be very bad for us if they become a major power mid-war. Very, very bad. Russia joins, it's going to make Russia much less likely to back down, I think. So we hope that they won't, but don't have much way of controlling that. Looks like they aren't. At least not yet. They're minus 100 confidence, so surely they just back down. Come on, Russia. You know you want to back down. So many maneuvers with the war goals here that you are avoiding, you know? You could just back down now. That would be much appreciated if you could just back down, please. Please, Russia, back down, or else I'm gonna die. Please, no, Russia, please. Hey, well, at least they got no allies, so better than if they got allies, but no back down is unfortunate, unless 90. Nope, no back down. Dang. They're 32 prestige away from going up to major right now. And it's, got more generals here. We really need to do everything we can to ensure no back down. Let's naval invade Ingria. Oh, we need a commander. Okay. Go for the attack. Please win, 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 win. We got this in the bag. I believe. The copium is real. Okay, we're in. Oh, we need to take over Arkhangelsk. Naval invade Arkhangelsk quickly. That's been enforced on Persia. Yes. Persia protectorate. Good, good, good. And now enforce middle access on Persia. And go here. Push into Russia from the south. Oh, and you're here. How close is Russia to going up? Okay, they're actually still like basically the same distance. I guess their army's getting killed, so that's keeping them at a similar distance. But yeah, we need to not let them get up at all costs. If they get up to major power, we are dead. So we cannot let that happen. Please, Russia, do not go up. Army's gonna arrive here soon so that we can land Arkhangelsk. We've got a big advantage on the front. Russia's ticking pretty fast. Okay, we occupy the war goal. Russia's at 92 prestige. They're actually going down, I guess, because we're killing a lot of their army. That's good. Okay, well, Russia didn't actually get anywhere near becoming a major power, and we can now subjugate them. I guess we'll revoke claim on Sakhalin, because we want to colonize that at some point. Yeah, Russia's now a protectorate. Nice. We'd like to get out of war, so we can then grant some states to Russia to hopefully make them a puppet. We need to go send our troops down to this front so we can deal with the evil Khalsa. I'm so confused how this happened. I was sending troops down to defeat this, and then it just broke free. What? Huh? How? Wait, what? Why am I at war with this New Brunswick and this Nova Scotia as well? This makes no sense. I'm so confused. I'm actually just infinitely confused about this, but, you know, oh, they got annexed by Western Australia while the Civil War is going on. Okay. Okay, we can reduce Russia's autonomy to puppet if we just grant them a couple of our states, which we didn't really care that much about. And that's pretty nice. Yeah, Alaska's independent? That's crazy. Wait, what happened? How does Alaska own Kamchatka? That's a big revolution. Wow, it actually got so much of Russia. That's actually insane. Wow. That's crazy. Apparently the Russian capital is in Crimea, so let's go occupy that real quick so that we stop getting enforced on. The reaction movement is back again. I don't get why it keeps going up to 5% and then back down. Doesn't make sense. We're just gonna have to pass national supremacy again, and then the movement's gonna go away. And then we're gonna be like, why did this happen? I don't know. Wait, is this the only plus mass migration attraction modifier in the game outside of the power block thing? I think it might be. That's really interesting. The Netherlands is a great power. Yes, big nice USA going for some conquest on the Confederates. Free stuff for us, basically, because these are our subject, or this is our subject. As long as the USA wins, we're very happy with this. We could support them, I guess. Mexico backs the Confederates, actually. We don't really want to be enemies with Mexico. Wait, America is still confident? How strong is America? 232 conscripts? Okay, that's actually quite a lot, but I think that they still might lose. Oh, okay. Portugal is trying to send us more offers. They want Mozambique from us in exchange for Zambezia. That's actually a good deal. We'd love that if we could actually accept it, but we can't apparently, because we're a committed participant in this Diplo play. Well, too bad. Okay, I'm going to support the USA in this play. Ask for an obligation. USA, please accept my sway. Yes, okay. So we can use USA as return CBs, but let's not do that. We're just gonna ship over some troops and help out the USA in this play, because we definitely want the USA to grow larger at the expense of the Confederates, because the Confederates they're too big. You know, like, they're too big to fail, except actually they're not too big to fail. They're just too big, and they need to become smaller. Are they actually taking Tennessee? That's gonna be isolated. What are the Americans doing? Hopefully after this war, the Confederates will be weak enough that they drop to minor power, and then we can try to subjugate them. Oh, the Netherlands left the power block at some point? How dare they? They need to stop being a great power. Okay, Confederates are about to go down! There they go. Confederates are dead. Wait, oh, the Tennessee is connected via Virginia. Okay. Bruh. Canada annexed Hudson Bay before the Confederacy was dealt with, so now we just have this here? That's so dumb. America's #3 GDP in the world. AI Turtle Island has formed. I guess we might as well federate Canada and Australia. Not too much of a point to not do that, right? I'll just help deal with having less revolts spawn in the future. Big Upper Canada here. And hopefully conquer Turtle Island soon to fix this border, which is terrible right now. I'm going to declare to conquer Burgundy and Champagne from France, which will cut their market away. Everything will be isolated except for Paris, which should be enough to hopefully drop France to a minor power, along with humiliation and war reps, along with hopefully bankrupting them. We'll see. I'm gonna mobilize our army and go on the front. Uh-oh, Russia's in the play. That's not good. Or not Russia, Austria's in the play. That's not good. Yeah, we're gonna mobilize a bunch of conscripts, because defeating Austria is actually gonna be a little bit tricky, potentially. Don't think we're gonna add anything against Austria yet. Don't think that's gonna be too good of an idea in terms of keeping infamy fairly low, because going above 50 infamies means a pretty big hit to Liberty Desire. Well, the war is a little bit tricky, because Austria does have a pretty strong military, as well as France, but I think we should be able to win it. Oh wow, they actually are maybe winning against us. That's not good. Do we have our armies on general staff? They are general staff PMs. I guess we need even more conscripts to stand a chance, I think, because things aren't looking good for us right now. Somehow we just aren't getting pushed despite having a huge disadvantage on that front. But yeah, we just made it into Ile-de-France, which is great. Able to enforce on France kind of soon here. Austria is ticking slowly out of the war. I assume that we're not going to peace out immediately here, but it's going to be kind of close maybe if we do this. Actually pretty close. Yeah, okay, let's sign this peace deal, or we give up a regime change in Upper Canada. In exchange, we isolate Ile-de-France, or we isolate the rest of France, you could say, I guess. And now France's GDP is going to skyrocket, but that's going to mean that their economy is actually in shambles. 13 million GDP in Alsace is crazy, but all these buildings are going to completely unemployed, basically. For now, France is completely out of debt, which is not great for us, but the building's gotta just be so unprofitable that eventually France has gotta go into debt, right? You gotta be running huge bureaucracy deficits because they're running minus 50% deficits in a bunch of their government administrations. Probably, yep, even in Paris because there's not enough paper here. Well, this is an amazing trade. We give up Accra, which is worth basically nothing in exchange for Dutch Niger Delta. Nice. Okay, France has gotten into debt and they're burning 100K a week. That's what we like to see. How does Java exist alongside the Dutch East Indies? What? And it doesn't even own West Java. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry, but supporting the reaction movement is illegal in this country, and you shall be exiled for even attempting to come to my country while supporting that movement. Due to their entire country having their market isolated, Scandinavia has dropped to being a minor power. You know, they're in the French power bloc. What fools joining the French power bloc? So yeah, we're gonna try to make them into a protectorate. Since France is humiliated, they can't join against us. And we're just gonna hope that this goes well. You know, what could possibly go wrong? It just seems like a free protectorate, except for, you know, them going up to major power, but I'm sure that won't happen. What could possibly cause that? Nothing. Nothing could possibly cause that. I'm sure, you know. What could possibly go wrong? I see nothing could possibly go wrong, I'm sure. Except for Prussia and Spain joining against us. That is something that could go wrong, but that's not major. As long as Scandinavia stays in major power, stays in minor power, we're good. Oh, their prestige has dropped even further, so yeah, that's good for us. Oh, Scandinavia just backs down. Well, nice. You get Scandinavia as a great protectorate. Great British Empire grows larger. Belgium being the number 4 GDP country in the world is crazy. These states have so much GDP. I guess it's just because they're able to get migration from the my entire empire, you know, lots of migrants coming from my country to all these evil subjects of mine like the USA is trying to steal my economy. Let's go. France is decayed to minor power as well. Unfortunately, Occitania is actually getting close to great power status. They always managed to grow a lot once he released them. Maybe I should have waited to release them until later into the game. Their market capital's in Languedoc? That's unfortunate. If we conquer like these 3 states, then maybe the market capital will isolate to Rhone. But that's like a lot of infamy. We need more Diplo, so we're gonna rivalry everyone we can rivalry. More influence for the Empire. We improve with Scandinavia is the main thing, and then I guess we'll just float the rest for extra infamy decay. A 2,000 spare Diplo right now. Nice. I think we want to start improving with into the South Americans, because we want to try to get these guys into our block eventually, right? That seems like a pretty good way to use the Diplo. Let's hit 50 cohesion real quick so we can do our first subjugate in forever. Subjugating Portugal, expanding the British market yet again to be almost the entirety of our empire. Wait, New Granada is a subject of Brazil now? Okay, we can actually deal with this reactionary movement now. It's below 5% support. It's because there was another agitator that we had that I didn't deal with in time. But yeah, we can now be done with that. Anyway, we're going to declare on France or make protectorate. And then we'll add a bunch of revoke claims, I guess, to make them hopefully back down. See if they actually do. They probably won't, but you know, we can hope that they will, because they're gonna call Austria in, and that's gonna make them not want to back down probably. I don't know why it's lagging so much every time I try to revoke a claim. I guess they have a lot of claims, but I don't feel like it should be this laggy anyway. A little bit weird. The French are too close to major power, Rec. We're going up on gov wages and up on mill wages. Please, France. Do not make it to major power, or else you will have to be eliminated that millisecond by my, yeah, my magic eliminator gun. It's gonna have to fire on you if you dare challenge me. France, please, just don't make it up to major power requirement, and nothing needs to happen. You know, it's that easy. Just don't make it up. Okay, looks like they're not, because now their power should start dropping as we kill their troops, hopefully. 176. So close. There's no way. 175. This is unbelievable how close it is. You need to get into Ile-de-France faster. It's 159. Okay, they're dropping for real now. So that's good. Oh, the movement's back. That's weird. We'll just pass ethno-state real quick and then unpass it. Luckily, the movement isn't at 100 activism, so... Because if it was, we would actually kind of be forced to fight civil war there. Because the national supremacy was on a pretty big cooldown still. Okay, France is still a minor power. We're good. French capital occupied. Okay. Proposed peace deal. Protectorate on France achieved. Very nice. I'm gonna try to just like export everything in the world to all these countries we gave markets to try to give ourselves more influence, because I want to, of course, improve relations with France if possible, but we're in a pretty big influence deficit right now. And every single trade route we create should give us like 2 influence minimum, assuming it doesn't level up, so seems like a decent. Oh, but it's gonna cost so much performance is the only problem. I have faith in my computer. What could possibly go wrong? We can make Charles Dickens a feminist. That would be kind of interesting. Probably not useful, but I guess let's do it. Charles Dickens is probably gonna be dying soon as well, so we probably really would want to get on a republic soon, or we can maybe just abdicate whatever our next monarch is 49 years old, so surely he'll like instantly have an heir, and then we can just abdicate to cautious agitator maybe. But it would be probably simpler if we just got on parliamentary republic. I don't know. I think a lot of our GDP is over in India, so I think it might be time to move our market capital to India. Let's see if it increases convoys or not. It does. All right. And over time, this should just be even better and better over time, because England is slowly losing GDP share to the New World, and to, what's the other thing it's losing it to? Yeah, India. Especially if we can conquer the Ottomans in Egypt to get a land connection to Africa. This should just, over time, get better and better. The thing is going to be sad to have minus 10% throughput for 5 years, but it's definitely going to be worth it. I'm going to quickly conquer Turtle Island. They don't deserve to exist. They're just a terrible spot on the map that must be removed. USA is doing so well. They made it to number 2 number 2 GDP in the world, ahead of Qing. Okay, after doing some shenanigans, we managed to get Chile protectorate in this way here. We joined them for an obligation, absolved it, got a defensive pact, and then, what did we do? Oh yeah, and then we swapped our government over so that we aligned closer, and that was enough to get Chile as a protectorate. Now we can swap back to a more reasonable government. That's going to be very good for us. Going interventionism the whole time is a little bit interesting because it's just not really practical to pass LF. I mean, maybe we can try. Can we even get the industrialist in government legitimately? Only 42 legitimacy is just really bad. And it's only 12% success versus 54 stall. It's like not going to go very well. There's a Sumatran uprising, so we're just annexing Sumatra. Spain's in this war, but it'd be pretty easy because, we're in Sumatra, so we're going to get annexed. I actually have no clue what country this is going to annex. Oh, I forgot that it annexes their subjects as well. So yeah, we just annexed, what's this, Brunswick? Okay, I'm gonna conquer the 3 states we need to surround southern Anhui. So, Hainan, northern Anhui. Wow, can you believe it? We need northern Anhui to surround southern Anhui. Unbelievable. And Nanjing. Now, I think we're also gonna need to take over West Guangdong. Where is Nanjing? Gotta be something. There it is. And then I think this should be the market capital. Yep, so we need to conquer that. So move the market capital to where it needs to be. So conquer Western Guangdong. I will also take some Chinese war reparations, and we need something to make them less likely to back down. So let's revoke claim on Beijing. Brazil, Egypt, and Spain are all defending the Qing. That's an interesting coalition you've got there. Okay, we got a huge advantage on the front due to our 600 conscripts, which are, half shrapnel, half skirmish. Should be able to get into southern Anhui fairly easily. Also, pretty close to compression ignition. I don't know if rushing compression ignition as much was a good idea, but I did it, so it's done now. After this, we'll probably go antibiotics and macroeconomics. Okay, we can make peace, just we have to not revoke their claim. And now southern Anhui is surrounded. Are they in debt? No. Dang, the Chinese are really good at avoiding debt, but the encirclement of southern Anhui should mean that they've got no market access, which should hopefully mean they're going to start dropping power rank and going to debt and stuff, hopefully. I have no clue if it's actually going to happen. Due to Paraguay being disinterested, it seems like there's basically no way to improve our chances of them accepting, unfortunately. We just gotta hope. Okay, we hoped successfully. If they would have said no, we could have just declared war on them to force them into the power block, but that would have made our relations with them a little bit worse, unfortunately. But it would have been fine to do it that way as well. Yeah, we got compression ignition. Let's see if it's good. I don't actually know how much oil we have that we can use, because we don't own Baku ourselves, so basically have no oil is what that means, right? Are we actually able to run full diesel pump with no shortages? All right, well that's nice, I guess. I mean, we have slight oil problems, but I don't think we even turned on the better oil PM yet. Let's just go find our oil rigs, turn on combustion engine derricks, and we can probably build a bunch more oil. Let's just max build all of our oil mines within our oil rigs within our country. And we can build some oil rigs within Russia, even though Russia probably has very low qualifications, because their literacy is trash. There's a war between the USA and Mexico right now. The Confederates and Brazil are on their side, or on the side of Mexico, though. But the USA has a lot of power projections, so I think they might be winning this. Although they are losing right now, they've got way more conscripts, so I think they've probably got the long-term advantage. We'll see. And also, if, Confederates or Brazil hop out of the war, then that'll be a huge victory for the US. But the USA has to hold Texas and stuff in the meantime, which they're not successfully doing. So they need to do that. Am I getting -50 towards offering USA military assistance because they have 3 Liberty Desire? It looks like Confederates are probably going to take Texas, but the saving grace for America is Confederates cap faster than USA by a lot, so Confederates will probably cap before USA accepts peace, then they'll lose the occupation of Texas, and then can hopefully the Union can come back from there and defeat the Mexicans. We got an automobile shortage, so let's, do we have the oil for this? How much oil is in our market? I actually don't know. Can we go diesel engines? Yeah, we can probably go diesel engines. And automobile production. And yeah, oil prices are going to be pretty high, but we get engines going, which is kind of nice, and automobiles. Okay, Confederates are out of the war, so it's just over for Mexico now, I think, because Brazil's going to be leaving soon, probably, and then, yeah, even before Brazil leaves, USA should just have a huge advantage now. We can get a Costa Rica protectorate. We just need to swap our government to align with theirs. Armed forces, the Tory party. Okay, let's do that. And oh, but the landowners want to join as well. Okay. Now can we get the Costa Rican protectorate? Yep. Okay. Nice. Mobilize and go deal with the evil Costa Rican revolt. We can get Argentina in the block as well. Very nice. The Mexicans are doing a surprisingly good job of holding against the Americans, given their like 5-to-1 power projection imbalance here. It's ridiculous how good they're defending. Like they're winning some of the defensive battles, or at least they were. Yeah, they're winning here, for example. I think this war is just going to take forever and then get white pieced because it's not getting pushed at all, seemingly. America's going to slowly get towards accepting the white piece as this plus goes up and up over time. Mexico is accruing some decent debt from this war, so I guess that's kind of nice for us, but we definitely would have preferred for America to take these states, because right now Mexico is too big to drop to minor power, but if they could lose these states, I think that would make it significantly closer for them dropping to minor power. Oh, California is occupied, so only these 2 states remain. Okay, looks like USA eventually ends up winning the war. This should be the final battle. And now all the war goals are occupied, so Mexico is going to get enforced on. It's looking like they might get a white piece, because Mexico was doing surprisingly well on the defense, but they finally get occupied. Okay, and oh, I didn't realize I didn't take Nevada. That certainly is a border. So I clicked on this and I realized Charles Dickens is dead, so we're going to find a new cautious ruler. It's a cautious literary umpire, but he's 76 years old, so he's going to die any day now. But we're going to take this cautious guy because he's only 31, so he's got a long life ahead of him, potentially even until the end of the game. I don't know. And he's in the radical movement, which we're going to start bolstering. And then we're also going to just, start passing secret police, which is going to make the radical movement civil war us. And then we're going to abdicate to it. Abdicate. Now, I've pre-done a bunch of the laws, so like I enacted them and unenacted them so that it would give us parliamentary. So let's quickly swap governments to the Tory party, and then pick this so that we get the minus interest group clout on them. Now we're a parliamentary republic, which is great. How many radicals did we get from that? Oh, that's so many radicals. Depending on if turmoil. Oh, we have turmoil in these states. That's not great, but it is what it is. Well, this is trending towards 13%. It better start pressuring the rural folk. What are the rural folk currently pressured by? Oh, they're already pressured by 3 movements. Royalist movement, they're only pressured 8%, so what do we need to, what are we spending our authority on right now? Suppressing the reactionary movement, that's necessary. What else are we spending it on that we could get rid of? Clothing consumption tax, services consumption tax, I guess. And then we need to suppress the royalist movement, so that hopefully the rural folk will stop being pressured, and then hopefully they'll be pressured by the radical movement. Okay, the rural folk are now pressured, so we can grant leadership to this guy, and now he is now the leader. Get cautious, diplomat, very nice. Not as good as Charles Dickens, but still a good leader. Anyway, we're gonna start trying to pull 2 Sicilies into the block. They're gonna be nice. They've got 170 prestige, so they're fairly far from making it to major power. We definitely want these guys in. We do not have an interest in Italy. No, we do. Why is their leverage not showing up? Okay, there it is. It's not high enough, clearly. We need more leverage. Oh, they have 1322 leverage resistance. That might be too much, actually. Yeah, what sources of leverage do they have where they're getting that much? Oh, they have traditionalism. You know what? I'm gonna stop suppressing the reactionary movement. If it gets to 5% clout and we fight it, I think we're kind of fine with that, because we got a little bit too many pops right now, or a little bit too many radicals right now, and I think that a 5% support movement generally won't take that many states, so it should be fairly easy to deal with, hopefully. Okay, we're gonna go for, what's this? Yeah, conquer Prussian Anhalt. It's gonna be good, because the plan is if we do this, and also Protectorate Saxony, we can cut the Prussian market in two, which should decimate the Prussian economy, because the vast majority of its GDP is in the west. But its capital, or its market capital, will be Brandenburg, which is in the east. And so this should hopefully destroy the Prussian economy for good. They will be dead forever now. Once we Protectorate Saxony as well, we'll declare that war once this one's done escalating. I guess we'll also humiliate them. Oh, Spain's in the war. Maybe we should liberate some countries from Spain here. Yeah, let's liberate Andalusia and Catalonia, because Spain is too much pops to drop to, they're getting kind of close to dropping to minor power. Maybe if we build up the navy later, we'll be able to pass up, or we'll be able to make Spain drop with just one of the releasables. Which one's bigger? Catalonia is like 20 million, and Indonesia's less. So we'll just release Catalonia, I guess, and then the other one will stay in Spain. Is Andalusia, is this? No, it's not 20 million, but it's a lot. So yeah, we'll just live Catalonia, and we'll not enforce live Andalusia, probably. Unless we enforce on Spain too quickly, and we can't do that. Oh, Austria's in the play as well? Dang, this is a world war over conquering Prussian Anhalt? I did not expect that. Thought this was going to be a simple war, but no. The Austrians had to disappoint me. How dare they? Enforce mill access on Russia into this war. We should remove their service exemption. Gonna be decent. Oh, this creates 2 separate fronts? Great. Well, maybe that wasn't a great idea because now Austria's gonna full mob, but Russia's got a lot of troops, so it's decent, I think. Let's also declare on Saxony to make them a protectorate. Russia's supporting Saxony. Oh, they got them as a protectorate. Yeah, we'll just be transferring Saxony, I guess. And we'll take double Prussian war reps. Okay, we're getting a reaction movement civil war. It's only taking 6 states, though, so that's going to be very free to deal with, which is going to be great for us. We definitely like this civil war a lot. I'm going to reduce Belgium's autonomy. Belgium, how big is your military? It's 105 battalions? Okay, let's get you in the war. Who cares what your liberties are? You can get in this war and help us out. Your 100 battalions. Okay, the British bourgeois revolt has begun. We'll grab some armies, send them up to deal with this. The revolt is like really small, so it should be pretty easy to deal with. You can mobilize a couple of armies, and this should be super easy. Just disband, and yeah. How many troops do you have? 35 plus 30? Yeah, that's nothing. We got macro and antibiotics. Okay, we'll go paved roads next. What else is going to be useful in terms of tech? Arc welding, and then I guess we go mobile armor. Well, the revolt has begun. We don't have too many armies can deal with to deal with the revolt. Most of our armies are still dealing with this Prussia war. Austria is going to be leaving it pretty soon, which is going to be a huge W for us. Then we can just steamroll Prussia and then peace out with Spain. Yep, there goes Austria. Now this is just going to be super free. Just walk through Prussia. They've got no military because their military is all on the Belgian front pretty much. Yep, there we go into West Prussia. Now we need to make it to Brandenburg. Okay, we got Brandenburg. Very nice. We're gonna make peace with Prussia pretty soon, except that we need to actually occupy Spain in order to enforce those demands. Yeah, I guess we'll capitulate Prussia and then go into Spain, because I think that's gonna be the easiest way to do this. Oh, don't lose, please. Please don't lose the capital. That would be ideal. Well, we lost the capital, unfortunately. Now there's two fronts of the same front. Great. Just because I guess it's because they're two separate wars, but that shouldn't be happening because these are effectively the same war. I guess it's because one of them Spain shouldn't be allowed to put on, but that's just stupid. Anyway, Venezuela can be invited to the power block, which is pretty nice. Also got Ecuador in, South Peru, New Brunswick. South Peru's kind of close. How's Mexico doing this? Oh wow, they declared bankruptcy. Alright, well, we'll start bankrolling them because we want to work on getting Mexico into the power block. Not damaging relations, improving relations. But once they become a minor power, it should be pretty easy to get them in the block, I think. Bro, what? The front just disappeared? Okay, I guess we're gonna go deal with the British revolt and then go fight in Belgium? Oh, the front is back. That's so weird. Well, we're sending our troops over there, I guess. Mexico dropped to minor power mid-revolt. Can we maybe get a subject? No, they think we'd make no meaningful difference. Oh, we'll support them unconditionally, I guess, just to try to get an attitude swap. I don't actually know if... I think they were bad attitude before, but now we got a good attitude. Okay, the revolt in Great Britain is over now. That kills our radicalism a lot, which is going to be super nice. Now we can go deal with Prussia once and for all. The Prussians shall not recover from this time. Hopefully we can also maybe send some stuff into Spain, because if you want to have Spain ticking, we need to occupy Brandenburg, please. So we get strike labor negotiations. We gotta pick what law we want to pass for them. We will pass regulatory bodies, sure. We need the trade unions in government for that, so... Oh, this is gonna make the trade unions have more clout than the... Whatever, right? No, it didn't? Oh, the elections just haven't happened yet or something? Oh, this government is super illegitimate. That's a bit of a problem for us. Okay, it's only 2,000 or 400,000 radicals every time we take these guys out of government to declare a war, so that's not too big of a deal. We will just begin passing regulatory bodies. Oh, but he's imposing. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait till the next election, which should be pretty soon. Okay, we occupied Saxony again, so we can get, or not again. We occupied Saxony, so now we can transfer Saxony, which is gonna be nice. And then Prussia's pretty close to being enforced here, and so is Spain. We just need to occupy Toledo, and then it'll be good. To enforce both of our demands, to liberate Catalonia, humiliate Prussia, and this. Don't everything but liberate Andalusia. We just need to occupy Toledo. Come on, Spain. Let me have your country. You know, you don't really need a country. I need your country. Great deal. Okay, great job accepting my peace deal. Amazing. Now, Catalonia is a minor power. Spain will hopefully drop to minor power status now. And Prussia has no market access, which is exactly what we wanted. No, there's a reactionary revolt in Austria that we actually might have been able to protect it from, but unfortunately we have a truce with Austria. I'm going to reduce Scandinavia's autonomy. I'm going to declare a war. I'm pretty sure only one of these states Scandinavia doesn't have a claim on. So let's declare for Wupo. And then we're going to feed the rest of it to Scandinavia using their return state CBs. And that should be an annexation on Finland, which is going to be great. I forgot to have a cautious guy while doing that, but, you know, it's not too big of a deal. It's just a Finland. There's basically no infamy there anyway, except there was some, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, the election's happening again, and now the Chartist party, or the Chartist party is going to win the election, obviously. It's got so much more momentum, and it's just going to win by a lot. So, yeah, it's 85% of the vote. That's going to be good. We'll be able to kick the industrialists out of government and get a more legitimate government. Okay, the election is over. Very nice. Now we get our much faster enactment time. We can even go down a tax level to get righteous government, because we're actually kind of scared of the strike thing. But with minus 50% enactment time, or roughly we should have something like, yeah, minus 56% enactment time. We should be good. Minus 20% more enactment time. Oh, now we're cooking. Wait a second here. Okay. You know what we need to do. We need to get minus 100% enactment time. So let's just, you know, we don't need any promote social mobility decrees. These are a waste, you know. There we go. Now, minus 25% enactment time. Now we get 1-day ticks. Let's see what happens. How fast can we pass the law with 1-day ticks? And we're done. Nice. Alright, now the strike keeping promises. Get 20% labor loyalists, which is really nice. We'll take the interest group approval. Now that gave us, yeah, like 20 million loyalists and 20 million less radicals. Very nice. So Brazil dropped to minor power. They're actually, like, possible to get in the power block, so we're gonna go for it. Just trying to diplomatically get Brazil into the block. That'll be very nice. Evil Saxony is reducing block cohesion, so we shall expand the Confederation. It doesn't make us lose Anhalt, but it had to be done. And now, turn towards 49 cohesion. Stupid Tasmania. Can we subjugate Tasmania and then just annex them into Australia, maybe? And they're not quite at, we're not at 50 cohesion, dang. USA has 205 million GDP. Tibet owns Terran Basin? How? I don't know. Reduce autonomy on Persia, so we can go trying to annex some of these Central Asian countries. Hopefully, a little bit of colonize into Turkmenia and stuff, because I think that's like one of the last areas of the world left to colonize. Okay, we'll form an alliance with Mexico. Wow, we're so far away from getting a power. Oh, it's because we have low cohesion right now. Yeah, because we just subjugated someone. Okay, it's fine. I feel like I just got Mexican investment rights. What's going on? Are they canceling my investment rights constantly? I don't know. I'm gonna start spamming a ridiculous amount of ironclads just because, you know, this is a great way to inflate prestige, and I think it's about time to do that now. Because, yeah, inflating prestige is going to be very good for us. The more prestige we have, the more countries are going to drop to minor power ranking, and we're at the point in the game where it's kind of the last call for subjugations. Not really, but, like, we've got to get everyone low somewhat soon, so we're going to spam a lot of naval bases. There is the entire queue full of naval bases, 3,500, 298 pages of naval bases. I'm not using dreadnoughts because we don't have radios, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think we have radios. Home Counties has no supply of radios required for dreadnoughts. I think we should actually rush behaviorism for the extra influence and maneuvers and stuff. That's probably more important than I thought about at the time. South Peru wishes to join. Alright. We need to subjugate someone to keep cohesion high. Who was these independent non-block members? Or independent block members? Guatemala is one of them, I guess, so let's subjugate them. Alright, Alaska, you've been allowed to exist for a little bit too long. Wait, why can we not attack Alaska? Oh, we have wait, they're a Mexican protectorate? Oh, okay. Nearly at 1,000 flotillas. We're currently at 14,000 prestige, nearly. What's the prestige rec to get to great power? Let's see, 655 now. It's gone up a decent amount, but still not high enough for Prussia to drop to minor power, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Netherlands is dropping to minor power right now, so we should start trying to improve with them. We don't have the Diplo. Can we get more Diplo somehow? Not by rivaling the Netherlands. That's not a very practical way to improve with the Netherlands. We don't need stuff with Venezuela. Let's just subjugate them so that we don't waste Diplo on that. And then do Argentina soon. Let's just stop guaranteeing you as well, I guess. Start improving with the Netherlands. Our relations are really bad because they left the bloc. Bro, Oman backed down to losing their main state. That's crazy. We're just sort of, you know, conquering everyone in the world one by one. Slowly. a lot of infamy, but, we're losing infamy pretty quickly due to all the countries importing small arms from us. Though by this point, a lot of them have built up their first arms industry, so it's not quite as good, but it's still better than nothing, because once they build up an arms industry, then they stop contributing, but you should probably stop having the people who built up an arms industry having their separate markets, but the prestige threshold is nearly getting Qing down a power rank, because our prestige just keeps going up and up from that huge amount of navy we built. Apparently I repudiated an obligation. That's unfortunate. I don't remember doing that, but yeah, that's unfortunate. Get some minus infamy decay from that. Maybe they did it to the Netherlands? I don't know why relations are so bad with them. I've got no clue. I don't remember doing that, so yeah. Austria is now being deranked from great power. Very nice. The power of 2,500 boats. The Ottomans side with these guys. The Ottomans are somehow like doing really well this game, and they've managed to have 600 prestige, which is pretty incredible. But we'll ban slavery, take some Ottoman war reps. I don't really know. We should probably conquer a state from them. Let's conquer Dogu Chakia to cut them in half so they have to use convoys. Because, yeah, I don't know how to make their country drop to unrecognized regional. We really need it, though. Because otherwise, our map won't look as cool without the Ottomans. No, our great chancellor has gotten syphilis. Okay, we're actually getting close to deranking China. Wow. Okay, we can protectorate Mexico. Or not protectorate. Invite to the bloc Mexico. Very nice. Now we can start subjugating people like Ecuador, and then maybe next Argentina. There's no shot we're getting two Sicilies into the bloc. We should give up on them. America is now the only nation, or America and France are the only nations left that would be great powers if they were independent. Everyone else is a major power below. And Qing is decaying to minor power along with Prussia, which is very nice. I think it's time to start running medium government wages so that we can get an extra 5,000 prestige, which knocks the minor power requirement up a decent amount, so that now all these countries are basically guaranteed to drop out of that. Also, Occitania is getting pretty close to dropping. Very good. Yes, let's go. Big nice. Austrian Socialist Revolt. Let's go. That's so good. Easy Austrian protectorate. Oh, Prussia's supporting the Austrians. How dare they? Now that's going to give us a truce with the Prussians, which is unfortunate, but hey, what can you do about it? We really need this Austrian subject. And Prussia's going to be a minor power anyway, so, they're not a real country. Enforce middle access on everyone against the Prussians and Austrians. We could just, they're going to die anyway after our 700 stack gets done with the Ottomans, but, it'll be faster if we just call in a couple allies here and make sure we don't lose the occupation of our states there. Okay, time to enforce on Turkey. You better, yeah, okay, sent the right peace deal. Good, good, good. And now we can go focus on these other fronts. Don't worry about the fact that Austrian Socialist war support is negative. It depends on our war support, and we're nowhere near capping, so we're good. Well, the war isn't going great, but, we still have plenty of war support to take it back. We're just slowly pushing for this front. It's taking a long time, but we should eventually make it, especially once Prussia caps out, which should be pretty soon. Is Prussia still a minor power? While even with conscription, they weren't able to get up to major power status. Great for us. Okay, Prussia's about to be out of the war, which is going to be great news. Then we'll just have to deal with the evil Austrians and make them socialists. Oh yeah, we can get a lot more money by raising taxes, because we have like infinite legitimacy and infinite loyalists, so yeah, not much point in having low taxes. Yeah, we're gonna land into the Venetia, but also look at how ridiculous this naval battle is. We have 3 million manpower in the naval battle. We have 5 guys die. Truly perfectly balanced. Now we'll push out of here. I think this is the capital of the Socialist Revolt, so we want to take that if possible. But we can't make it a strategic objective, apparently. Well, we'll just try to win. Looks like this front is literally a 100 advantage now, so we should be able to make some pretty quick pushes out here into the Austrian capital, hopefully. We managed to, looks like we managed to not occupy anything, but still distracted a lot of troops, which is going to be great for the Eastern Front. We're going to get pretty close to Vienna, seemingly. Okay, Austria's war support is now negative. They're gonna cap out pretty quickly here. They're losing 11 a week because they have so many casualties. And yeah, their country is just getting run over by our army now. Oh, that's nice. France is taking some states from Occitania. Alright, there's Austria, but they're red now because they're communists, not because they're British subjects. Oh, North German Federation formed, and it's still a minor power. Let's go. Big nice. I guess it's because Austria's dead now, so they're the only unification candidate. Anyway, we've got another war to declare. Make protectorate on Great Qing. Let's grab our 700 stack, put them on this front. Grab a 84 stack, sure, put them on this front. Everyone else can keep going on like the China front or the Egypt fronts or whatever. Oh, do we actually? Okay, let's grab you and you can naval invade Lower Egypt because we did put a protectorate Egypt. We gotta go work on that. Got lots to work on, but I think we're gonna get a ton of the world here. Or like, you gotta protect the Confederates, Spain, Occitania. Not that much left to have a ton of the world. So you can put on some revoke claims to make them slightly more likely to back down, which would be convenient. Really? USA and France can't beat Occitania? Are you kidding me? How dare they? 7,000 power protection on Occitania is actually quite a lot. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a white piece, unfortunately. Or wait, France has occupied a little bit of Auvergne-Limousin. Maybe they have a chance at winning this, but they're losing so many of the offensive battles, I don't know. Okay, maybe France has got this? They've occupied Aquitaine, which is one of the war goals. Now they just need to occupy... Oh, they're gonna get it? They're 86% in Rhone. Okay. They actually got this. Nice. As long as America... Yeah, America's got this for a while longer. Okay, good. Okay, we've got our protectorate on Qing. That's gonna be good. That looks real good now. Yeah, we're really starting to expand now. Yeah, there's 700 stack. It should be coming over. Let's go send you over to the Egypt front. That'll be nice. It turns out they also had to return Languedoc, so the war isn't actually over yet. But I think Occitania is very much set to lose here. Or they're winning an offensive battle. Okay, Egypt Protectorate finally getting done here. Very nice. I was gonna go deal with this Venezuelan communist revolt. It's actually gonna hit capitulation desire in like a second anyway. Well, the power block map mode continues to expand. Just absolved my obligation with Brazil. Now we have good relations with them. We had really bad before, but yeah, we can just I assume they're nowhere near major power. Yeah, well, they aren't. We can get investment rights. We can probably get the other thing soon. Cohesion is tending to pretty low because of Qing. Dang. Dang, Occitania actually managed to get away with a white piece? That's unfortunate. Oh, but they're a minor power anyway, so can we get them into the block? They have a lot of pops. Let's see. What's their leverage resistance at? Oh, of course, if you don't... I should really change the settings so this requires less of a hover. They're at 1,000. Not that bad. You can probably get them. I think we're gonna have to give up on the Netherlands, though. Yeah, let's give up on the Netherlands. They're only like 20 infamy to protectorate, so it's not too big of a give up. Netherlands are actually trending towards huge leverage towards us, even though we're not doing anything to them. Maybe we shouldn't give up on the Netherlands. We just need them to have a decent attitude so that they accept the thing, and I guess we'll be fine, I think, because 290 leverage when we were doing nothing, so yeah, this should be pretty easy. Need a defensive pact with the Brazilians, which will be nice for getting them into the block. What's their target now in terms of leverage? 157. Nice. There's a revolt in the Netherlands. We'll side with the Netherlands, which will hopefully give us a good attitude so that we can invite them to the block now. Nice. Netherlands should be in the block. Yep, there they are. Very nice. I'm going to subjugate Mexico. Just going to delete our cohesion, but it had to be done. This is what the British market looks like right now. It's pretty good. Yeah, we need to actually help the Netherlands win this, because they're actually losing their civil war without our help. Spending all the money we have is a little bit difficult. Like, we don't really have that many peasants to employ up right now. I mean, we have 34 million, but not really that many. Maybe we should just build a giant army. You know, we can inflate our prestige even more. If we inflate our prestige, we get a little bit more cohesion in the block, so I guess we'll just build a couple of battalions for the military. You know, we might as well. Yeah, a bunch of different armies. We can just build a couple thousand battalions. That seems fair. It's slightly cheaper to protectorate Sicily right now because they have a civil war, which is making them have a little bit lower of a population. So we're gonna, or a little bit lower of a cap of infamy cost due to state count. So we're gonna declare on them before the civil war is over, and then we'll add in some war reps or whatever. Sicily will give us, like half of Italy. Spain sides with them. Oh, and Occitania sides in here. Oh, and the Ottomans. This is pretty annoying. You need to decide what war goals you want to add here. Don't think we want to add any protectorates, because that's going to cost us a little bit too much infamy. I hope this doesn't flip Occitania forever, because we did want to try to diplo-subjugate Occitania. Yeah, it is what it is. We'll just try our best to win this war quickly so that Occitania doesn't, from an attitude swap on us. Oh, France will take a return state. Yeah, let's give a return state to France. Because this doesn't cost infamy when we do it like this. Let's give them Rhone. Alright. It slightly reduce Occitania's pop. Wait, Occitania is back to being a major? Well, they're gonna drop out of it after losing Rhone, that's for sure. Okay, Occitania is about to get enforced on here. Ottomans are not far behind in hitting capitulation desire. Yeah, Ottomans are -9 now. We're also about to land in two Sicilies. 67 versus 3. Don't think this is going to be very difficult. Yeah, easy dubs into two Sicilies. What's this? Russia's trying to land there as well. We got 3,000 telephone shortages. Maybe we should build some telephone industries. We can also upgrade them to radios, I guess, and then not have shortages on our siege artillery. That would be something. Yeah, we're almost into two Sicilies, which will be nice. And two Sicilies protectorated. Nice. More expansion of the empire. Anyway, can we invite Brazil? Yeah, okay. Brazil's invited to the power block. Very nice. We could invite Hale, but they're like one state minor, so I don't really want to spend 3 cohesion on them. Germany's defaulting. Let's go. They should declare bankruptcy now, right? I think. No, are they just going to default forever? I don't know. And 40.8 million debt. Quite a lot. Russia, you can consider declaring bankruptcy so you can, hopefully have a revolution, and then we can reverse sway to get you as a subject. That would be really nice. There's a lot of revolutions that are, like, pretty activist in North German Fed. I'm going to try to do them last so we can hope that in the meantime they'll have some sort of rev that we can side with. Polish national movement is going to be kind of nice, maybe, but we're not going to get the entirety of Germany via that. I don't think there's going to be any point in supporting it, because it's not going to make NGF go below the minimum, or the maximum infamy cost, I believe. Okay, they did declare bankruptcy, so now the 95% of Polish national movement supporters are radical. The radical movement's gonna get up to like 86% activism, and this is all with them having secret police 5. Wait, there's a bug going on here. Russia's getting -25% political movement activism from that, even though they only have actually Home Affairs 1. That's a weird bug. I wonder if I reload if that'll get fixed. The answer to that question is reloading does fix it, and now they only get -5%. Let's go. It's so over for the Germans. Now they get to have every civil war in the world. The radical movement is gonna go to 100 now. Let's go. It's so over. We just have to hope that one of these civil wars will want to become our protectorate, and then we'll be golden. Well, we got the Polish uprising now, but this uprising is not the one that matters. It's gonna be the next one. But unfortunately, it is -85 to becoming our protectorate, which means don't have great hopes for the North Germans wanting to become a protectorate, but maybe. Or wait, we just got 125 infamy? Or did we just, or did that already happen? No, that already happened. Yeah, that's not going to be great for our odds, but I think maybe we can pull it off. We just need a good government to happen to roll. That's going to be really bad for us if the Polish uprising manages to succeed, but it looks like it's not going to. The only thing is the radical movement might actually go in the middle of this, and that might make it so that the Polish uprising is able to succeed, which would be pretty bad. It actually might succeed anyway. Yeah, the Poles are just winning, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, the Poles are gonna win. Yep, Poland is now an independent country. Well, that's not a great thing, but the radical movement, maybe we can sway for a revolution in North Germany. Or even if we can't, the population cost of Germany has actually gone way down after losing Poland. Although that population cost has moved to Poland. So it's not that much of a gain. But, like, even if we can't get the Civil War... Wait. No! Last second it moves to an Estonian national movement now? Bruh, that's so dumb. Proclamation was so close, but no. Okay, that's sad. So I was hovering over Germany, trying to make them a protectorate, when all of a sudden I see, oh, no, because they're already a subject, Brazil got them as a subject and a sway here. That's great. Hopefully they can defeat the Estonian uprising. You know why that's great? It's because Brazil is already in our power block. In 2 years, Brazil will be my subject. Hopefully they can deal with Estonia. Surely Estonia has basically no military, but they are bankrupt, so I don't know. Anyway, Occitania can join the block now. Very nice. Catalonia will be soon. Okay, Catalonia invited to the power block, and they accept. Very nice. No way, the Estonian uprising is winning. Come on, Brazil, please just send over like 2 troops. I know you can defeat Estonia. Okay. Germany's got this. Yes, they've finally taken it over. I guess some Brazilian troops probably finally arrived. You know, occupy Tallinn, and then the revolt will be over. Very nice. I think we'll mop up Germany. Well, I mean, I guess we could probably do Confederate States next. Is our cautious guy still alive? Yeah, he is. The USA just casually having 400 million GDP. That's pretty insane for an AI. I mean, it's getting a ton of foreign investment from us, I'm sure, but still. Yeah, I mean, it's like half of its economy is owned by us. But still, 400 million GDP is a lot of GDP. They have a nearly 6 GDP per capita on legal guardianship. That's pretty crazy. I didn't realize you could get that high of a GDP per capita on legal guardianship. Very unfortunately, I can't support the North German Federation in this war because we have too bad of relations, and I'm pretty sure we're only 9 away from getting North German Communist Revolt to accept a sway from us. I wonder if we can maybe do that, because otherwise I'm a little bit scared that Germany is just going to be lost. Well, I couldn't find an easy way to protectorate the other side. I couldn't find an easy way to get this way to work, so we're just gonna hope that the North German Federation can win this play. They got Occitania, Brazil, Hohenzollern, and Anhalt on their side, so I believe in them. They think they have plus 75 in relative military strength and mobilization level, which is surprising to me. I don't know how that's possible, but I hope it's true. Or I guess it's possible because all these countries have a bunch of mobilization, but they might not necessarily be sending them to the front. You got 200 total battalions mobilized, so that's good. Hopefully they're... Or wait, 0% mobilized? What? Huh? Okay, looks like Brazil is defeating the North German Communist Revolt. Let's go! Schleswig-Holstein is occupied now, so the revolt has nothing it can do anymore except for... Yeah, it can't do anything. It's just stuck in Westphalia, roughly, and West Saxony, I guess. We're running a little bit low on infamy, so I guess we'll go for a protectorate on Poland right now. That seems like a pretty good thing to go for. Gonna barely get us over 25. I think I'll quickly subjugate Netherlands. We don't have anyone we're actively trying to pull in the block right now, so might as well use up our cohesion to subjugate people. That's a giant flood, all the way from West Galicia to Kharkov and Pskov. Wow. Austria's reverse swayed Baden for protectorate? Nice, we're getting closer and closer to having all of Germany under our protectorate. No shot, Austria did it again, and they got Württemberg this time. Let's go! We're at 50 cohesion again. Time to subjugate Brazil. Let's go. That's going to be a big expansion of the British market. The Ottomans are fighting Austria right now, so we'll just take advantage of the situation while they're distracted to, you know, invade the Ottomans ourselves. Get a nice little protectorate over the Ottomans. After that, we just got 2 more major countries do we want to protectorate: Spain and the Confederate States of America. And then it's just going to be some sort of small cleanup. Okay, we finally occupied the Ottoman capital, so we can now get an Ottoman protectorate. Very nice. Looking good. We passed 5 billion GDP in the block. Yeah, I'm going to declare on the Confederate States of America here for a protectorate. We call Austria in. We want to call the USA in. Sure. Conquer state. Kentucky will give us maybe the cleanest borders here. Still not very clean, but cleanest like that, I guess. France seems like they want to join the Confederates, but I'm pretty sure the game shouldn't let them because they're not above 75 Liberty Desire. Hopefully, at least. France seemingly was not allowed to join the war, so that's great. Should be able to push into Confederates pretty easily. They are, not exactly the strongest of competitors against the great British Republic. Okay, we can now get the Confederate States Protectorate war goal enforced. Very nice. North America is mostly complete, except for Cuba, El Salvador, Los Altos, just a couple of small things, really. I'm gonna force Los Altos into the power block. I just invited them, but they were antagonistic, so they didn't want to join. Okay, they just accept demands to be forced into the block. Very nice. Guess we'll buy the Panama Canal. Sure. Can we buy the Sinai Canal? No, we have too bad of relations with Egypt. Well, this is pretty much the last moment we can invite people, then we'll subjugate them. We have like 2 years left of being to do that. Montenegro we can invite. None of these people have very high acceptance chances. Sure, let's ask Waldeck. Okay, Waldeck joined. Maybe that's a bad idea, actually. That's gonna lower our cohesion a lot. Well, we need to choose someone to subjugate. Who do we need to subjugate right now? I guess Catalonia. Okay, we can support Dynam in their thing for a protectorate. We just have to swap to a Christian party government. That's pretty good. Free protectorate in Southeast Asia, mostly completing that region. We might end up getting Japan, so we complete most of East Asia. That's unfortunate. America's attacking Mexico, so we have to support Mexico, or else we lose Mexico as a subject, I believe. I think we can just insta back down. No, we can't. Wait, how did we not take over the war? I don't know. Okay, well, I guess we have to fight this war, because otherwise we lose Mexico as a subject, I believe. Dang, our cautious guy is dead. How dare he die? Now we need to find a new one. Well, I thought we had no cautious guys, but no, I was wrong. Here's a cautious guy. In fact, he's cautious literary. Oh, wait, but he's intelligentsia. Huh. We need to make the intelligentsia our biggest interest group. It has to be done, because this guy is cautious and literary. Okay, the intelligentsia are now the biggest interest group, so let's just quickly slot in the industrialists and then slot them back out. And now we got our cautious literary guy. Okay, let's go for make protectorate on Spain. Spain is pain? No, Spain is me. I am Spain. You will give me your country, Spain. Occitania. Sure, we'll give you an obligation to join so that we have another front. It doesn't really matter, but who cares? I think if I click this button, we just leave the war and Mexico instantly loses. Yep, there we go. Evil Ottomans are trying to attack Egypt. Well, we'll have to give in to their demands by joining Egypt's side and then instantly capitulating. Alright, let's capitulate in the Egypt war, and then in the Spain war, we should be able to peace out pretty soon. Send the peace deal. And Spain is now a protectorate. That's going to be pretty good for the map. Yeah, now we got 4 countries left in North America outside of our block. Let's go clean them up, starting with New Brunswick. Alright, conquer state. SMH. The Confederates think they can. What? I thought they were going to declare independence. What is this war goal? Ah. That's very strange. Okay, well, we'll support unconditionally, and you guys destroyed the Confederate States. Confederates have so many troops, we just can't land them. I guess we'll have to enforce mill access on America so that we can actually win this war against the Confederates. But we just finished the full tech tree. You probably should turn on chem warfare. That would also be a good way to land. Chem warfare is just so broken. 20 offense, 15 offense, 5 offense, 105 offense now. Perfectly balanced. Oh, our keep it back down. Alright, well, we're at like all the countries in the Americas now. We need to decide what we want to do next. Thinking Protectorate Japan is going to be next on the list, and then after that, maybe we'll clean up Algeria, Morocco area, and then I'm not really sure from there, maybe go Central Asia. I don't know how much, or no, we want to clean up Germany, like Bavaria, Frankfurt, Hesse-Kassel. We might also have to attack Waldeck, because we actually are struggling to get back up to 50 cohesion to use Subjugate again, because Spain is really lowering our cohesion. Okay, this is the power of chemical warfare flamethrower troops. 119 offense. Okay, we finally hit 50 cohesion, so we'll use our first subjugate on Los Altos. Japan Protectorate acquired. Very nice. There's 185 countries in the world, and we have 127 of them in our power block. Okay, subjugate El Salvador. I think that means we only have one more independent block member remaining. Waldeck. Yep. Okay, I think it's time to protectorate Bavaria. This is gonna be a little bit of infamy. I don't know if this was the right choice. You know, the alternative was conquering Algeria, pretty much. Maybe we can still conquer Algeria, but we're gonna use some pretty lucky infamy reduction events to conquer Algeria in time. Okay, the war's about to begin. We'll just enforce military access on Austria. Austria has like 400 battalions, kind of insane. Oh yeah, we're gonna demand to make protectorate from Hesse-Kassel while they're slightly cheaper due to having a civil war. Win them in their civil war so they're guaranteed to win it. And then we'll also go for Frankfurt after this. Then from there, we can just save up our infamy and decide what our final war will be. Probably against Algeria. I don't know what we'll take from them. Maybe we just try to take East Sahara and Sahara. I guess we can protectorate them, actually. It's only 6.8 infamy. Okay, we just got enough cohesion to do our final subjugation on Waldeck, bringing us to 0 independent block members. Okay, I'm declaring to protectorate Algeria. We barely have enough time to enforce this war, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna enforce mill access on Bavaria, so we can deal with... oh, Hesse-Kassel is our subject somehow anyway? Okay, well, we're gonna deal with Frankfurt real quick here. And we need to deal with all these revolts that we're in right now. Ideally, I would want to do some Grant State shenanigans to make everyone a puppet before we end the game, but maybe that's not going to be possible due to a million revolts. I'll say France in for return Algiers, sure. Then we get a border, which you can go use real quick. That'll be good. We need to go send some troops into India to deal with these ridiculous amounts of revolts we have in India right now. The great push into Algeria begins. We only have like 5 months to enforce on Algeria. Okay, one fleet here. You're gonna help me naval invade into Oran so that we can hopefully destroy the Algerians in time. Okay, we're into Oran, so that's good for enforcing on Algeria. Okay, it looks like we're gonna be able to enforce on Algeria successfully, and this is gonna be our final war. Very nice. Oh, not quite. One more battle? Okay. The final battle of the campaign. 6,000 Algerians versus 12,000 Brits with chemical warfare and flamethrowers. Very fair and balanced. Yep, okay. Now it's over. This is the final power block thing. Let's just do a... Wait. What? No! Alaska's in a communist revolt. Dang. How dare they? Just build up our construction queue so you can see how high does our GDP go once we hit the Monday tick. Let's see. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and block GDP goes up to 6.96 billion. Nice. I'm going to quickly reduce autonomy on a couple people, and then we're going to be just go into the final day. We're not going to reduce autonomy on everyone, because that would be a lot, but a couple of the important people we will reduce autonomy on. I just reduced autonomy. Something weird is going on where this parts of Spain is just getting independence. I think we need to grant it back to British Senegal or something. Because, yeah, something weird is going on where it's just, like, going independent after Spain, I assume, creates a colonial government. So we will just quickly grant that to British Senegal so they can't create a colonial government here. Spanish Timbuktu. Spanish Ghana. We need to give all the stuff that Spain has here to British Senegal. No, don't give North Angola. We need to give stuff that's actually within the strategic region. I don't actually know what that is. Okay, we should hopefully be safe now. Anyway, I think we're just going to go to December 31st, 1935 here, and then end off the run. This was a pretty good run, you know, 7 billion total GDP in the British Empire. We own a huge fraction of the world. Once I get to the end date, I'll count how many states we own relative to the total number of states. Okay, well, we've hit the end date. We still have achievement compatibility. Anyway, the number of states we have is 639 out of 666, counting our civil wars, because of course these states we will get back, including Alaska. All this stuff is getting counted as part of our states. It's also counting this as us owning this state entirely and stuff, but it's a pretty good estimate. You own 95% of the planet, which is pretty strong. I guess we're gonna be ending off pretty soon here. I'll just go through all the map modes while going around the full globe real quick. Yeah, those are the important map modes. You got all the tech, and I guess we'll look at the power block menu. We got 7.1 billion GDP throughout the power block. These are the top power block members. We have 68,000 prestige nearly. Top. Oh, that's the game over screen, right? That makes sense. All right, now we can just click continue playing. Click Great Britain. And yeah, this is where the game is over. Goodbye.